Good morning, my friends. It is I, Alphinius Goo. Yes, here at Gooey headquarters, with Camera Mandy behind the camera, wearing really weird glasses. Camera Mandy, what's going on with those weird glasses?
Hi there. So, last night, I went out with Kimmy.
Yes. Well, that's a mistake.
To
Look, I'm on the screen behind Camera Mandy.
Yeah. So we have a bar here in Colorado Springs. It's called Illusions, and like they switch out the theme every like few months. And like right now it's Barbie themed, and so I got these fabulous glasses. However, I kind of thought they were like Alfabio's glasses.
No, they're not.
They're totally Alfabio's glasses.
Oh my God.
Everything is pink tinged when I look through them right now.
Camera Mandy.
So anyway, I just thought we should add them to like Alfabio's fabulous wardrobe.
Yes, I'm disturbed. Even more disturbed. Anyway, good morning. It is good to see you all you crazy people out there. Hello, hello. We have a wonderful stream today planned. Yes, indeed we do. We're going to talk with marvelous Todd Michael Putnam from Creative Adventure Tables. He's going to show us a bunch of terrain builds and talk about some cool stuffs, which we're very excited about. Of course, we're continuing to do our little giveaway, right? So you get to put in your name and do some things there. We've got a question for you to put up your answers on the Kickstarter and maybe win a prize. Yes, we do. We've got to do that. And of course, we're going to do a little bit of a run through on the stretch goals for all the Kickstarters so everybody can get an idea about what those stretch goals are, make sure they're very clear and answer any questions and do all that kind of stuff. And then if Rin is watching, I'm going to open Rin's little package today, but I have to know if Rin's watching. If she's not watching, then I'm not going to do it, Camera Mandy, okay? Also, by the way, I need a trim really bad, don't I? It's starting to get a little aggressive. Ms. Goo was giving me a hard time this morning. She was saying, you are really growing it out. Seems like it to me.
I think it's called your Gyzaengaxx beard right now.
Well, this is definitely a Gyzaengaxx beard.
Yes.
No question.
Well, it's looking good.
Thank you. Yes, very good.
Straggly beard.
Yes, I should let it grow way down,
but,
like ZZ Top.
But
yes.
what happened was, like last week, you trimmed your own little mustache.
I did, yes,
and you trimmed it a little. No, trimmed it a little short.
No, I trimmed it fine.
It was very short.
Camera
I couldn't stop laughing at it. I know. I'm sorry. It just was happening. So anyway, then it's grown out now to an appropriate
so it's
length.
an appropriate length now. So it looks perfect. So the trim was just fine then.
Yeah. Well,
yes. Definitely, anyway, people don't need to talk about my damn beard and my mustache. There's enough of this. Let us move on.
Glasses?
Yes, let us move on. Let us do some fun things.
Well, let us have Todd come on.
Are we doing Todd first?
Yeah.
Do I have to put in my little ear things?
Yeah, put in your little earbud.
Damn it.
Okay, so this is episode 2 of Terrain Talks with Todd.
All right.
Alliteration.
How exciting is that?
So,
Terrain Talks with Todd.
We're going to start off the show talking with Todd about marvelous things you can do with terrain. I have some cool pictures, cool illustrations. You ready to go?
And before we do that, everyone knows, I think they know, we're very close to breaking 450,000 on the Kickstarter now.
We'll do a quick Kickstarter update, and then
yes, we should do that just so people can know because it's pretty cool.
Hold on, I have to find.
You have to find what?
My scene.
Your scene.
I can show the.
Well.
It doesn't matter. Okay, just go look at the Kickstarter while you're watching Good Morning.
Yes, just enjoy the Kickstarter. I think we're 445,000 plus or something like that.
Yeah, and 444,243 and
445,243.
You know, I can't read numbers. It's just not my talent. It's not my skill.
But the thing that's cool about this is we had a couple of things change, right?
Yes. So someone moved their pledge from the Gen Con
to the Genghis Khan.
To the Genghis Khan.
Which means there's now a Gen Con experience. The Gen Con
open.
experience is actually available, which a lot of people have been asking me about. And we would have done, and now we have one available.
And we have it under good authority that a Gary Con one is also about to open up as well.
Yes,
because there's only 5 total slots for Gary Con.
Yeah, for Gary Con. So there was one that's going to open up.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
So if you're looking for those experiences,
they might be popping.
I'm just saying, keep an eye. So anyway, okay, but we will talk more on that later. Let us go ahead and chat with our dear friend, Todd.
All right. Excellent. Oh, there he is. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you, my friend? You look marvelous.
I am doing well. I was telling Camera Mandy earlier there, this is the least worst lighting I have available.
I was going to say, you do look like a vampire, Todd. You look a lot like a vampire right now.
If you want to subtitle it as an interview with Nosferatu, that's okay too. Right?
Blah blah.
The
I
extra
do,
survivor.
I do not say blah blah.
I just
So
want
you,
to say on your Kickstarter, real quick, before we, because you were just talking about that. Congratulations on 450,000. You're so close to that. I'm
thank
sure you
you.
guys will. I just want to say that I just got my blood for the con and all that kind of stuff. It looks fabulous
Oh,
because I backed that campaign as well. This is just a small portion of obviously what it is. And I just want to say that the real winners are the people that are going to be backing the Tomb of Gyzaengaxx, because flipping through this, the quality of it really is unmatched for anything else that I've ever seen. Certainly anything better than I purchased from Wizards of the Coast.
well, thank you,
When
Todd.
flipping through it, the attention to detail in terms of, hey, if it's a weaker party, a stronger party, a high level party, all those things that would stop definitely earlier, newer dungeon masters in their tracks. Well, how do I handle this? There's stuff right there, right at their fingertips to be able to do it. And then when you're trying to describe an NPC, you've got these full color pictures that you can just pull out and show to people. And it does all the preparation work for you. So it turns you from a game master into a dungeon master, where you look like you know what you're doing with a minimal amount of prep. So if you haven't backed it already, I'm already a backer
Thank you, Todd.
Gyzaengaxx and also for Blood of the Con and Mornwood. But without a doubt, there's a reason why it's that successful. Having gotten this stuff and looked at the material, I have no doubt that Tomb of Gyzaengaxx is going to be as good, if not greater.
Well, and we're going to do this stretch goal walkthrough, and I can't wait for people who haven't seen it yet to see the $500,000 level, and then we think we can get to at least 600,000. And
Wow.
if we get there, we have Ed Greenwood, who's going to help us make a bonus adventure for everyone
Wow.
who backed in this campaign. So we're pretty excited about doing that as well. So it's wonderful. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Let me just answer a few questions before.
Oh yes, let's do that.
So first off, I forgot to put on my microphone, so that's why y'all could barely hear me. But hopefully,
it's a low budget production, Todd. It's just a low budget production.
Second off, someone asked, has all the Mornwood campaign stuff been sent out yet? The answer is
not quite.
No, we're still.
80 boxes or 100 boxes, I think, still left to ship.
Yeah, we're
trying to get out this week.
We're trying as fast as possible, but if you have not gotten it yet, it doesn't mean that it's not coming. It's we're still working through the shipping process.
Yes.
With that said, the Gyzaengaxx shipment, whenever that starts, is going to be like massive compared to even the Mornwood one, because we're at what, almost 2,000 backers?
No, 2,150.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that's going to be crazy. And then third, someone asked, when will the Mornwood campaign be available for purchase for those of us unfortunate souls who didn't know about it on Kickstarter? And I believe we are working on getting that up on the website. I'm going to be doing a nice video shoot and photo shoot for it this upcoming week. Well, not me. My assistant will be doing it.
Yes, it's right. Oh, your assistant, yeah.
Yes. And we'll be working on getting that up so that way we can start taking orders for that. So, but we'll talk more also about the Mornwood after we're finished with Todd.
Indeed. Let us talk with Todd.
So
Todd, tell us a little bit real quick for folks about it, Creative Adventure Tables and what it is, and just let people know a little bit about that.
So the first part that everybody likes is it's a Facebook group and it costs you nothing to join. So that's always good. That means you've got your money spent left over that you can put it towards Tomb of Gyzaengaxx. So do that. But it's a Facebook group that's absolutely free to join. And I started about almost 5 years ago. And the sole purpose of the group is no matter what game system you play, no matter what rules you use, any type of tabletop gaming that you do, whether you're using 3D terrain or myself, I use a lot of Dwarven Forge or some of the other retails, or whether you craft your own, it doesn't matter how you get it. The question is, how do you use it once you have it? And the entire Facebook group is nothing but people sharing pictures of the builds that they do for the adventures that they run for their friends. So we're closing in on, you see, we're almost probably in the next week or two, we'll hit 45,000 members.
That's just a huge number of people. That's amazing, Todd. It's amazing.
Thank you. And that's a private group. It's not a public group. So it's only people, once they come inside, that can see it. There's all kinds of the best people that are on there. People from Dwarven Forge are on there. People from WizKids are on there. Black Magic Craft is on there. all kinds of people that Monster Fight Club is on there. All the manufacturers, all the people that do terrain and stuff basically are on there. But it's not just for top tier people. It's literally from beginners all the way up to, what I call convention tier quality tables. You can just hop on whenever you want, scroll for 5 minutes. And what you'll notice as Camera Mandy is scrolling through is you don't see a whole bunch of memes. You don't see a whole bunch of other stuff. The entire group is laser focused on terrain and useful information and ideas that you can use in order to make your game better. In fact, our tagline is creativity runs on inspiration. So you can just scroll through and see what somebody else is doing, and you're like, wow, okay, this is a great idea. This is something that I could do. This is something that I could apply to my own table. Even if it's not the same way that those people are doing it, it gives you the impetus to go, oh, wait a second, there's a way to do this. Let me see if I can figure it out on my table. So yes, it's not about the most impressive.
Yeah, what I enjoy about it, Todd, is the breadth of different ideas, creativity, the awesome differing builds that come up, and the stories that people tell. It's truly magnificent. Love it.
It's great. When I first started off, I was like, well, there's these companies like Dwarven Forge and Monster Fight Club and others that they're selling all this terrain. And then there's all these 3D printers that are selling all these 3D prints to make for fantasy tabletop stuff. And then there's all these YouTube crafter channels that are teaching people how that they can make, I'm like, somebody out there must be building some fantastic tables. And so my goal was just to start bringing them all together in one Facebook group where we could all share. And little did I know, it took me 6 months to break 100 people, but here we are almost 5 years later at 45,000. So who knows? So what we're going to talk about this session real quick, because I know we got a lot of great stuff going on. I want to talk about elevation. And the reason I want to talk about elevation is because, number one, it's super easy to do. It's disturbingly easy to do, and yet it adds a tremendous amount of emotional oomph to the table versus just flat across. And the first picture here, which does not look exciting at all, is literally just some of the materials that I use to create elevation. In the center, you're going to see a 22-ounce clear plastic glass that I buy off of Amazon. I bought an 8-pack of tumblers. I got a couple of those. And I use those as supports that you put them around. And I've got, not shown on here, is a 24-inch by 24-inch clear plexiglass that I get from Amazon. You just go right on Amazon, 24 by 24 clear plexiglass, order it, there it is. You put one of those under each corner, one glass in the center, and you've now got yourself an elevated area to put terrain on top of. The same thing just to the right of it, those are just cleared shot glasses from Publix, which is kind of like, or from Walmart or anything like that. And I use those. I can put miniatures. They're the perfect size for standard 28 millimeter minis to put on there to make for flying characters if you want. If you don't want to spend any real money on specific stuff for terrain, there's literally things that you can buy that are dirt cheap right off Amazon or from your local Walmart that you can use to elevate it. The other two that you'll see, the one in the bottom, the large one, is from a company called Axe and Shield, and that's designed to do elevation for ships and things like that. You can see how much larger it is. And then the other one at the top, who has, I have to say, the worst name ever, Combat Tiers Tinkered Tactics. I don't know.
That's kind of like the GUI Game Master's Den of Enlightenment.
Yeah,
it's a terrible name.
Wait, no, I can't do it. Tinkered Tactics.
That the wife of whoever's doing this named it so that the product wouldn't succeed. Like, the product works great, but the name is terrible. But anyways, you can see there on that one that you can put different level of risers in there so you can adjust the height to it. So, and then cameraman, if you could flip to the next one that shows some Todd tiles. There you go.
Yeah, Todd tiles.
Those are ones that I actually designed. I commissioned to be designed, and these are available free if you have a 3D printer. You can download the STL files from thangs.com, THANGS.com, and just do a search for Todd tiles, TODD-TILES. And right there you can see, and now I've got them painted up brown. You could paint them up dungeon gray. You could paint them by any colors you want. But they're set to be the perfect 2-inch tall. So they work perfectly with Dwarven Forge, WizKids, whoever, it doesn't matter. Your standard 28 millimeter terrain, they're designed to work perfectly with them. And then if you want to see how it works, you just lay them out. And cameraman, if you'd switch to the next thing, there's the same exact build, but with some Dwarven Forge put on top of it. You see I've got some Dwarven Forge natural stone stairs going up. So you've got 3 levels of actual terrain going. Now, obviously, this is a tiny little microcosm, but just to give you an idea of what terrain can do, imagine that same thing just perfectly flat. It's not interesting. But as soon as you have like multiple levels up and then there's a pit in between this and that one and stuff, suddenly there's emotional drama on your table because of the elevation. And it's as simple to do as putting some tiles or putting some, you don't even have to use that. You could use a shoebox underneath it. Paint a shoebox brown if that's what your budget is. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Your players will love it.
Yeah, these look great, Todd. And you just let people get these, right? And they can just print them, right? Is
absolutely
what you
free.
Yep.
Yeah, they're
that's very nice.
Free. Not the Dwarven Forge. Those
yeah,
guys.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't want Nate calling me up saying, "What are you saying over there?" Okay. Dwarven Forge cost money. They charge me still too. So but the Todd tiles are free to download, and obviously it costs you whatever it is to run your 3D printer and your resin and stuff for that. But the STL files are absolutely free, and you can print up as many of them as you want. It's my gift to the community for because I looked around and I didn't see a cost-effective way to do this type of terrain, and so I just commissioned it to be done. So we're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to talk about elevation in 3 different forms, and the first one up is some air elevation. Camera Mandy, if you could switch to the next one. So here's simple air elevation. So all that, see that floating ship up there? All that is 2 of those 22-ounce clear plastic tumblers that you saw in the first picture, surrounded by some, in this case, it's doll filler that I got off Amazon, an $8 bag of doll filler, which I've never completely used up in the 5 years that I've bought it, okay, on top of a cloud mat. And you're now suddenly you're in a flying game. And believe me, my players never took their eyes off the battle mat from the entire time that things were flying around. The ship was through the air, because this is a Spelljammer type campaign. If you remember that from like the edition, where you had flying ships and stuff like that. And I wanted to do that. So I was like, you know what, I could do that. I could just put the tumblers underneath there, and I could surround that with the clouds and put it on top of a cloud mat. And you can get mats from Noble Knight Games. You can get them from the Warzone Studios, Deep Cut Studios. There's a whole bunch of different companies that make mats, and I can't remember which one that I got those from, but you can just do a search for battle mats, and that's where I got that from. But simple right there. The next one, if you could switch to, we'll take it to a little bit next. Same exact concept, but now I've expanded it. You can see the clear plexiglass 24 by 24 sheet up towards the front a little bit that's suspending it, and the glasses are holding it. Now, instead of a single ship that I've got, now I've got literally an entire Spelljammer port.
Wow,
with ships
look at
flying.
that.
Same exact principle, nothing complicated. 5 24-ounce or 22-ounce glasses holding up clear plexiglass, and then I put my terrain on top of it, and boom, you're in business with a Spelljammer port. Nothing complicated about it, but I guarantee you'll have your players' interest if they say they want to go there, and for the next session you set it up and you build the port for them. And of course you could have a murder mystery, you could have pirates show up, you could have all kinds of stuff happen, that kind of thing. So that's the same concept. Camera Mandy, next one please.
Yep.
Now here I'm taking it to one level higher after that, and I imagine, well, storm giants, they can live under the ocean and they can live up in the clouds. As if you read the Dungeons and Dragons lore on them, I'm like, well, if they're up in the clouds, what do they have to build with? Well, they've got water, and it's up high, so they could freeze the water, and they could basically have a castle made out of water in the cloud, made out of ice in the clouds. And then of course they're storm giants, so with the lightning going on, the castle's going to be lit up. So what I did is
it's great.
Same exact
it's great, Todd.
The same underlying mechanics, but I put the Dwarven Forge LED panels from their Hellfire Kickstarter underneath the Dwarven Forge ice tiles, and so it created lighted up tiles on the same exact battle mat. But this is an example. It's an
What'd you say, Mandy?
I'm gonna go grab something. You guys just keep chatting for a second.
Mandy is going to go grab something, so she's going to walk in front of the camera. There she goes. Another low budget production circumstance, Todd. But let us continue. Right. Anyway, Todd, this looks fantastic. This is what a wonderful display. I'm sure that folks watching are loving this. This is beautiful.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And so, but again, don't even be discouraged by like, oh, I don't have the Dwarven Forge, but you can get the clear plastic glasses and the stuff, and then whatever you have, whether you're 3D printing your tiles, people craft their own stuff. It doesn't matter how they create their tiles and stuff, or where they get them from. This is just the simple way that you can use to elevate it, and all I'm showing here are different examples. I like it. What do you
So,
got?
Todd, we better interrupt for a second. I don't, because this is something that Camera Mandy has just handed me this thing.
Yeah, so I forgot I had this in my office. Hold on, let me cut over to you a little bit more. So what this
Todd, this is some kind of an interruption. I'm not sure what's going on here.
So what this is a tree.
Like a little bit like the lamp from the Christmas Story with the kid, the lamp.
I think it looks like something from Whoville.
Yeah, it is. It is. So my best friend made this. This blew my mind. I keep it in my office because it blew my mind so much. All of this is from the dollar store. Literally everything here is from the dollar store. That's a pool noodle that she shaped, and like stuff for like a fish tank that she got from the dollar store, and then some of that foam stuff. But basically it was a magical tree that we were able to climb up. And when I saw that, I was so impressed by the fact that she put the effort into it. And then we did get that elevation, and it did add that tension to your battles because, you know, when you have someone on top of you, you have a whole new challenge to overcome versus...
versus everything being flat.
Yeah, you will now have to
change your strategy. And
think dynamically.
You're falling.
Yeah. So anyway, so when I saw all your like elevated stuff, I was like, oh wait, I have that thing in my office. I want to go show off because I keep it there because I was so impressed. You know that she put in all this work.
Yeah, because Todd, you use a lot of. Sorry, make him ready.
No, you go ahead.
But Todd, you mentioned this before to people that you got a lot of stuff from like hobby stores, like fish tank, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, aquarium decorations are fantastic.
Yes.
That kind of stuff.
Yes, indeed. Because there are a lot of things you can do without having to spend just a bunch of money. So anyway, let's talk about this one. What's this one, Todd?
Okay. And this one, the last one for the air elevation is where I literally, this one, actual campaign session, where I decided to create a Death Star adventure for them, where there was a flying castle that was literally blowing up towns that were refusing to submit underneath, right? So I have to create a flying castle. So I literally, you can see now I have a double elevated castle, right? It's above the table itself flying, but then there's a second level on top of that, all supported by the same clear plexiglass and the same, look at how much mileage I'm getting out of a couple of 22-ounce glasses in clear plexiglass and just putting the terrain on top of it. So it's kind of the imagination's the limit for something like that. And of course, the players had a blast going through down and stopping the adventure, and but everybody's eyes are glued to the table because the elevation creates all kinds of drama. The next one we're going to look at is, I believe, some ground examples. So here I took some inspiration from the old Kevin Bacon movie Tremors.
Yes, everyone remembers those little wormy things underneath the earth.
So the top level was the area that the players were adventuring on. That was the caverns that they were going through, right? But then the tremor monsters would come up from underneath, right, and chomp on people and drag them down below. So by elevating it, I was able to then put the Dwarven Forge burrows set underneath it, and whenever it would swallow a player whole and go back down to digest them, the players could then go down underneath, actually through the tunnels themselves, to try and beat up the monster and get their friend back.
Yeah, I love that.
But you see, it's the same exact thing here. It's the same one-trick pony with all these things. I've got the clear plexiglass glasses there, and then the 24 by 24 plexiglass, thing on top to support it. And then in this case, you can see inside the glasses, I just put some more Dwarven Forge in there to look like some extra columns or stuff, holding stuff up or whatever. But you can see that was the adventure they were playing right there. It was basically based off of Tremors. I was like, hey, I can make a top level, and then the monsters literally come up from below, so they never know where the monsters are going to come up from, right? That fear of you don't know where it's not they're coming out from the darkness. They're coming out from underneath your feet, and there's nothing you can do about it, kind of thing. So one of the things you can do if you've got the terrain for elevation. Camera Mandy, next one, please.
Yeah.
So here, I decided I saw those are cutting blocks, wooden cutting blocks for in the kitchen or whatever, and I put those on top of the 24-ounce glasses, 22-ounce glasses, and strung some bridges between them, and I created an entire elven forest. that they could play on. You know, they get attacked by the orcs, and of course there's a mystery and stuff that's going on there. But instead of having it all be on the ground, you have that feeling of elevation and going across the bridges and stuff like that. And again, not hard to do. I mean, you put the glass on the table, you put the you put the plate on top of it, and then you put your materials, whether it's Dwarven Forge or WizKids or whoever, or your home crafted or 3D printed stuff on top of that, and you're in business. Again, imagine taking that away and just taking the elevation away and putting it all on the ground. It loses a whole lot of emotional tension if you take the elevation out of there, and yet it's so easy to put it in. Next one, camera Mandy, please. So here I took, here's a split level. On the left-hand side, you can see the town above ground, because there was a portion of the adventure that was above ground, and there was a whole murder mystery thing that was going on. They were invited to a party at the building in the upper left of the barons. The baron was having a party, and the players were invited to it. So when they went inside the building, then you go to the very top of that ridiculously tall structure that's there. You can see the white and brown building at the top on the right-hand side that's on the top of all the supports. That was the inside of the building, and then there was a murder. They went inside, and there was a whole murder that was going on, and then when they went into the basement, because they found blood tracks going to the basement, now they could go down into the basement. And then it turns out that underneath the basement, there was a whole opening, and they could go down into some cavern systems underneath there. And so you always talk about going down into deeper levels of the dungeons, but if you look at 99% of the people's tables, it's all flat across. And so using elevation, you can create the actual experience of going deeper and deeper. And then as I said this many times before, when we were actually playing it, I have all of this covered up with cloth or with a black poster board so that the players can't actually see everything until they get to that area. So until they get to the second level, it's all covered up with black poster board. So, but again, it's clear plastic stuff for the elevation. Super easy to do.
I use little felt squares that work really well too. Yeah, work really well as well.
Perfect. We have a bunch of questions from the chat.
So yeah, let's pause for some questions, yeah.
Todd. So I'm going to start from the bottom up because there's like 5 of them. Okay. How do you keep folks from knocking things over?
Well, so first off, I don't have cats anymore. All right. So I have a leg up on that one. It's actually a lot sturdier than you think it would be. When you've got 5 of those cups holding it up and 4 one on each corner and 1 in the center, you've got to knock it pretty darn hard before it's going to fall over. I've literally, in the 6 years really at least, that I've been building more advanced elevation stuff, I've literally never had anybody knock anything over. Now, I can't speak to your table. Obviously, there's people that...
Some people have clumsier friends.
Right. Not everyone should swim in the deep end of the pool. Okay, I'm not going to say that everyone should. And so you're going to have to know your own table. I'll be the first to say that. That being said, what I did notice is that as soon as I added elevation, everybody became a lot more careful and respectful because nobody wanted to knock over artwork of the story that they were a part of.
So what else? What's another question we got in there, Camera Mandy? Of course they don't want to. How embarrassing that would be to be the guy who does that party foul.
Sorry, I was also checking our Kickstarter. Randy, I think, swooped in and took the Gary Con.
Oh, Randy did?
Yeah. Okay. I have so many questions. I'm sorry. Do you find that making these large setups makes your campaign less sandbox-like? Do you always end your sessions in a certain way so you know what to set up for your next session?
So what I do is I do what I call Carnival Cruise, and you heard of sandbox and you've heard of railroading. Carnival Cruise, very quickly, is just when you decide you want to go on a Carnival Cruise, you can buy a ticket anywhere in the world that you want. And there's a ship somewhere that's going to go there. But once you buy the ticket, and you get on the boat, that's where that ship's going to go to. So the way I do mine is at the end of every session, I ask my players, where do you guys want to go? Do you want to go talk to this person X, an NPC that you talked to earlier? Do you want to go this other location? They could say anything. They could say, we literally want to go to the coast and hire a privateer ship and hunt pirates. We want to go to the mountains. We just want to... They could say anything they want to say. So I limit to them to their imagination. But whatever they say they want to do, that's the adventure that I build. And when they show up, that's the adventure we're going to run. I've never had somebody show up to an adventure and say, yes, I know you, I told you I wanted to do this, but I don't want to do this now. Would be the equivalent if you asked your wife what she wanted to do on the weekend, she told you, you set it all up, and then the moment that you got to the place you wanted to go, she said, I don't want to do anything. The problem is not you were a bad husband. Okay. So it's sandboxy in that they can do whatever they want. It's railroaded in that once they've decided what they want, that's what they're going to do for that session. But at the end of that session, they get to pick if they want to do something completely different next turn. You say what you want to do next turn, and we'll do something completely different. So that's the way I keep it that way. That's the way I balance it. And that way, I never spend 1 second building any part of the world that they didn't say they wanted to see or won't be used. And I never force them to go anywhere. They literally are forced to go where they said they wanted to go. If that's the definition of a railroad, okay.
No, I actually, as many people who watch this stream on a regular basis or have heard me talk, I'm sort of in the middle on this thing. Honestly, I think that great tales, sometimes things happen to the protagonists that they didn't want to have happen to them. They get forced to do things. They get captured. All kinds of things happen to them, and I have no problem doing that at all. And yet I still offer many breadths of variability. I'm also fortunate that I do have a table that isn't always trying to be contrary, right? And you drop breadcrumbs and they just ignore them. And then sometimes they do, right? Sometimes all of a sudden an NPC that was just literally walking along the street becomes very important in the game because of some things that occur. So it's very, very interesting. Oh yeah, cameraman's given me the we got to go finger because we got questions.
Okay. People are wondering, the mats that you have laid down, are those printed or do you purchase those?
Those are purchased. Yeah, I imagine you could print them, but like I said, there's a whole bunch of different places you can go to. There's Warzone, there's Noble Knight Games, there's Deep Cut Studios. There's a bunch of different ones that you can go to that you can get. WizKids has a bunch of battle mats. So I've gone to a variety of different vendors in order to get battle mats. And Dwarven Forge has 12x12 terrain trays, and those are excellent for smaller tables and things as well. So I go to a variety of sources, and on my Facebook group, if you're in there or whatever, I can send you the links for all of those, the ones that I use.
So speaking of Dwarven Forge, someone's asking if you are jumping on the Starforged campaign.
I absolutely already have.
That's awesome.
I have not pledged yet, but I am soon to.
So Dwarven Forge currently has a Kickstarter going. Also, Dwarven Forge will be sponsoring the Great Gooey Dungeon Game Show at Gen Con again this year.
Yes, they will be.
And I believe Stefan will be.
And Stefano, yep. And I think Anne is going to join us as well.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yep.
Anne is so nice.
And I think Luke and so we're I guess we're talking some other folks too. I'm just not sure yet. We haven't got all that stuff figured out.
Yes.
Shocking everyone, I went with the large bundle.
I'm sorry, when I say someone, it's just because I'm trying to find the question, and I can't quite find it, but people were asking about storage. Now, like these tumblers that you use, do you specifically use them for terrain builds, or do you also use them like in everyday drinking water?
Those are just for terrain build. That's it. And they stack, so I mean, it's not like they take up a whole lot of space. I've got like 20 of them, and I just stack them all up, and you pull them apart and set them in whatever order that you need them. Storage is probably its own whole show unto itself, but I will encapsulate it by saying this. The reason I can do my builds as quickly as I do, most of these take between 3 to 5 hours, basically, my average build, which people think they're going to take more. The reason I can get them done so fast is because I keep all of my stuff organized and labeled in bins. So if I want forest stuff, I know exactly where to go. If I want cavern stuff, I know exactly where to go. River stuff, I know exactly where to go. And it's all organized so that when I can pull it out, I can see in a baggie how many floor tiles I have left. And so I never get halfway through the build and realize, oh, wow, I don't have enough stuff to do the thing that I do. Organization and repetition are really going to be your keys in order to be able to build fast, and also in order to maximize your storage space. You got it all in one area. I can pull this one box, and I know exactly that I have everything that I need.
Also, for some folks that, because, obviously, Todd, you and I have been collecting for a long time, and we spent a lot of money over the years. And some people, they just don't have the means to be able to do that, or maybe they're just starting out.
Right.
What we do at our table a lot is we build it as we go. So as the map is revealed, actually, my players often build the dungeon, which they have a fun time doing. And so there's other options that you don't have to go out and think, oh gosh, I can't do terrain because I haven't got $5,000 and can't buy, just a whole boatload of Dwarven Forge or other materials, right? You can sort of start slow and add to your collection as time goes on.
Absolutely.
All right, we got to boogie a little bit. So let's go through the rest of your picks really quick,
Sure.
Todd.
That's one more. This is just a mine. Again, you could have done this all on one level, but instead you see that there's actually 4 levels to this mine. On the right-hand side, you can see where you're stopping at the top of the mine, and you can work your way through different levels and going down to the bottom of the mine in the lower left-hand corner. So there's a total of 4 levels to this particular build. And in this case, it's just literally because it makes it look nicer. And you can also see that I'm using my Todd tiles to support in this case instead of using the cup. So that way it gives it that actual earthy type look to it. Next one. Now this one here, the thing that's in the center, that thing is actually a 3D print from Printable Scenery, and it's designed to be a sky dock. It's
Todd, I just want to interrupt you for a second. I've seen this picture, I think, before. This is just a magnificent build. It's just magnificent.
So, and what I did this off the Mines of Moria feel, okay? And cameraman, if you'll switch to the next picture, it's the same build, but from a different view. Here you can see, the walls on the side are from Game of Thrones, the wall display. You can literally get them off Amazon or eBay, and I just repainted them. They, of course, used to be a Snow White thing, and I had them repainted brown. And that creates the elevation up top. And then this thing is got the stairway going down towards the bottom. And you can see I've got little goblins on the standing sides of it, just like in the Mines of Moria, where the goblins were plinking away with arrows at the heroes as they were going across the walkways and stuff. Recreating that same experience just by repurposing what was designed to be a sky dock for Zeppelins. You know what? It can also be a set of stairs going down deeper into the dungeons with the magma and all of that kind of stuff. So
awesome.
There's just two other ways there. Next one, please. And this is literally my last session here. You can see it slightly goes up. It starts in the forest, and I told them, oh, there's a cavern there that you go into, and it goes into a big hill. And then this was a whole bunch of kobolds that were going to be swarming them. So I kind of wanted to play it like an ant hill. And so that way you see this kind of it generally just goes up and up and up a little bit in different areas till they finally get to the top of the King of the Kobolds and stuff. But just showing, again, a mixture of terrain and how you can use the levels. Again, here I'm using the Todd tiles in order to bring it up to the next levels. Whole lot of Dwarven Forge on that particular table right there. And I think that's going to bring us to, we got one last one. So this is another indoor-outdoor one for ground. You can see the castle itself I've got up on a hill, which is where most castles would be, right? Mm-hmm. So just to put it up there for them going up. But then once they go inside the castle ruins, then it goes down into the dungeon, and not only do they have the dungeon proper, but you can see the natural stairs that I've got from Dwarven Forge going down into a lagoon. Kind of like, for those of us who remember D&D Basic back in the day, where there was the fighter that had the spear and the female caster that was casting the spell. Same kind of a concept going down into that experience, except I just happened to have a Hydra in there. So, but again, using that terrain. So when the whole time that they were going down those stairs, that Hydra was, doing all kinds of stuff and attacking them, and it just adds an extra element to the combat experience. And now we're going to talk about the last one. We're going to talk about water. Now, here, start off real simple. Those, again, to the left, you can see those are just the Game of Thrones wall display, 2 of them back to back, and I've got an iceberg out in the ocean, just like that. And to give it scale, on the right-hand side is a WizKids Falling Star ship, which is, like, in scale size is 135 feet. So it gives you an idea and you can see some minis on the side of that. There's elevation for them climbing up, and I've got like an ice troll on the top. So again, you've got that drama of they're trying to climb up to the top to get to the portal that they see there, the magical portal that's being guarded. But at the same time, ice elementals are coming out and they're attacking them while they're trying to climb. So just another way of taking an encounter and adding another level of difficulty to it by them trying to climb while engaging in combat at the same time. Next one, please.
So, Camera Mandy, I'm getting a little worried about time.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Yep.
Okay, Todd, because there's people. Well, we can also bring back and do this in a second version here in the next few weeks. You know, we can definitely do that as well. I'm just worried because I know folks have come because they want to get the stretch goal walkthrough as well.
Yeah,
and so I want to make sure that we take care of them as well.
We're almost done. So
Okay.
we're gonna just go ahead, Todd.
Keep going, Todd.
This is just basically like a Goonies type thing where you go inside and there's all these platforms that are on top of these stalagmites and stuff. So that's just
Todd, what are those stalagmites that you have underneath there? Because they're not
those
using.
are 3D printed. They're from a company called EC3D Designs, and that comes from a Kickstarter. It's not Kickstarter anymore, called Skyless Realms. It's all about the Underdark. But you know what? Depending on how you paint them, you can use them for anything, and they have a flat top. So as soon as I saw they had a flat top, that means I can use it as a platform to put something on top of it. And so I just set a whole bunch of them around, and I put platforms going between. And now you've got basically, instead of a tree city, you've got a stalagmite city, basically over basically a lagoon.
That's awesome.
Is what I did. Next one, we're almost done. Here's a shallow sea salvage thing. So I've got the ship up there, but you can actually see how far you have to go down to the bottom of the ocean because there's a shipwreck that's got all kinds of treasure in there. And so there's the multiple levels that the players can swim down. Of course, you've got sharks and octopuses and sahagin and all that kind of stuff. But that's a way of using elevation in the other direction for underwater, showing not going up, but going down.
Going down.
And of course, where that comes in, when the players run out of air, you can show them how far they have to swim, the drama between them and the surface to get oxygen back in their lungs again. Things like that, or a creature holding them down while they're trying to escape. And I think I got one more, maybe two. We'll see.
Yeah.
There you go. And this one is Gemstone Island. It kind of throws everything together. The quick synopsis of it is it's an island that they found had a gemstone mine in it. And the dwarves said, no way, we're not digging it. It's too stable. But the greedy humans said, sure. Well, of course, what part of the mine at the bottom broke open and it was flooded and filled with all kinds of with water. And that naturally then filled with all kinds of sea creatures. Yes. So not only are you swimming through a dark mine, that's completely underwater, but you could show up and sharks or giant crabs or things like that are all swimming around inside this enclosed claustrophobic area. But you can tell that by, and again, if you look on the left-hand side, it's that same skydock port that brings the elevation down to the lower parts of the mine, how I get from the top to the bottom. And you can see the clear plexiglass, and you can see the glass is holding it up. This is all the same stuff done over and over again. It's so simple to do. Once you get the basics of it, it's so easy to add elevation. And I think now we just want to do a spotlight, if I remember correctly, real quick. And this is not mine at all. This is Jordan Treyas, one of the people that's on my Facebook group. He's a regular contributor. And here he did a mountain valley set. And you can just see the elevation up and down all over the place. Who wouldn't want to explore that valley and adventure in it? He just did a beautiful job. And I feature 5 people every single week. Where I look at the builds that they do, whether they're beginners and they just came up with a neat idea or something truly extravagant like this. And I feature 5 of them as a post every week so everybody can take a look at what they're doing. Again, this is Jordan Treyas. So
yeah, that's stunning.
The basics of elevation and what you can do with it.
Yeah, Todd, this is great.
And before we log off, I want to talk about what we have going on in Creative Adventure Tables. Because we are currently having a contest for a Tomb of Gyzaengaxx build. And I believe Belinda is building something for it. I had pulled that from social media.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, in the comments here, you can see some people have already started to submit. There's the idea is that you build a room.
Correct.
With a description. And the winner gets a great prize from the Gyzaengaxx Kickstarter, and also their entry will be part of Gyzaengaxx.
Yeah, we'll actually put the room into the Gyzaengaxx adventure.
Yes. So
and to be clear, it's not about the quality of the room build. You don't need room forge. You can build it with popsicle sticks. You could build it with Legos. It doesn't matter what you could build it with cardboard. the room description is what's most important. But if you can take a picture of the but you want to include a picture of the room, so it makes it easy for Alphinius and everyone to fully understand exactly what it is and judge the winners by. We've already got several entries. I know we have at least 5 more entries that are waiting in the wings that are going to be showing up in the next couple of days. People I've spoken to personally myself. So there's a great opportunity. That tomb of Gyzaengaxx is going to be legendary. It's literally going to be a piece of history, because the likelihood in the future of having Ed Greenwood and all these Errol Otis and these people that are literally just the pillars that built the tabletop fantasy community, to be a part of that, and to say that not only do I have this, but I created one of the rooms that's in part of that dungeon. I mean, those are bragging rights that few people will ever get. So please submit and please back the Kickstarter as I have, because it's well worth your time.
Yes, absolutely, Todd. No, thank you for this wonderful presentation. And were there a couple questions we should answer? Or are we okay?
There were more questions, but they have since been buried in the chat.
Camera Mendy.
I'm sorry. I have to keep up with the past comments and the current comments, and it just is a lot. I do want to say that contest is open, I believe, until the 24th, so there's still plenty of time to enter. Please, if you have questions for Todd, please go to Creative Adventure Tables and ask him. And ask him. And ask other people in the group, because one of the amazing things about the group is people are willing to share. It's not about hoarding knowledge, it's about sharing it. So absolutely. Other players can enjoy terrain in all sorts of different ways. And also, again, it's something that you don't have to spend a lot of money on. Like Dory made this magnificent tree with $10 from the dollar store. And it's something that I remember walking in and just being like, wow, like it's a wow moment. So all right, now listen, we've got to get to this Kickstarter stretch goal walkthrough. We must. There's only 8-10 minutes left. I know. Any last thoughts, Todd, before we leave?
No, other than as the tie-in that for the Kickstarter itself is, please submit a room, because use your creativity. If you're part of this community, if you're part of GUICube, then you are a creative person. I know that right off the top of my head. I know that's got to be true. So think up a room, take a shoebox and put stuff and build it that way for your room, and have an opportunity to be a part of this legendary campaign, because you really do not want to miss it. And thank you so much for having me on. I greatly appreciate it.
That was wonderful, Todd. Thank you, my friend. Todd. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. I'll call you later.
You too. All right. Take care.
Camera Mandy.
Okay, so we have a walkthrough. I'm going to the Kickstarter page.
Yes.
And we're going to the update, right?
Yes. And then after this, we're going to do a little walkthrough, right, of the ghost stone. So we will be going late. This is the lateness is primarily for the GaryCon GMs. Yes, but you can stick around as long as you're not going to play it. If you're going to be a player in the ghost stone, then don't stick around, because it'll ruin it for you. But if you think you might want to GM it, if you think it's interesting, if you'd like to know more about it, I think you'll enjoy the little run through that we're going to do. But right now we're going to talk about the stretch goals, because I want to make sure everybody understands, because I think there is some confusion out there, and we're trying to get people to know about this. So first and foremost, this is very important. And I have a feeling that everybody here has done this already, but if you haven't done this already, and you're backing the Kickstarter, you need to go to GUICube.com/BACK, GUICube.com/back. And then you need to register on that page, because if you register on that page and you back at the adventure or campaign level, you get this wonderful digital print of the Evening in Ethholm, which is going to feature all of our legends. If you back at the adventure and campaign level, you get a whole lot more stuff, which is in that thing you just had there, Camera Mendy. I know, but the problem is that people are starting to put #GYZ in the chat. Oh, don't do that yet. Yeah, and I have not opened. Don't do that yet. Don't do that yet. So no, don't worry about that, Camera Mendy. Let's do this first. Hold on one second. I can just open it really quickly, and then we can, hold on. Low budget production. Yeah. Okay. But we have this fuzzy thing here. Yes, this magnificent Who tree. Okay, there you go. So that was the wrong thing. That's not it. If you're new here,
just know that the flaws are entertaining. This is what I have been told by many people.
We do this on purpose.
Yeah,
no, that's not true. All right. So listen. So there's
All
a
right.
secret stretch goal. So let's scroll down a little bit here.
Okay.
Keep scrolling.
Okay.
Keep scrolling.
Okay.
This, if you back at the adventure and campaign level, you get all this. It's like $200 worth of stuff in digital format. And there's going to be an opportunity for you to get physicals for it as an add-on at the end. I mean, this is the first step in getting a tremendous value from the Kickstarter.
This is gooeycube.com/back.
gooeycube.com/back. So you need to make sure you go there and check that out.
Can
And
someone
make
put
sure
that in the chat because I can't switch over.
Oh yeah, somebody gooeycube.com/BACK. gooeycube.com/back. So that is the secret stretch goal, because that also includes the Ghost Stone adventure that I'm about to talk about with some of our game masters who are going to run it at GaryCon. Very exciting, very fun, very interesting, and not quite done yet.
Oh my God, they're running it on.
Okay, listen,
Thursday.
literally last night, Cameramandy,
Okay.
I did not sleep. I lay down for 1 hour.
Oh, okay.
No, this is the truth.
I can
Ask Ms.
tell.
Goo.
No.
Ask Ms. Goo. 1 hour I slept last night.
Yes.
It is very hard to run a Kickstarter of this magnitude and have a day job, as some of the people out there know about.
Mhm.
All right. So anyway, so I want to make sure everybody knows about that. Now, if we can go to the update, the other update that has all of the stretch goals in it, so I can talk to people about this. Okay.
This one?
I think it is.
Yep. Okay.
Beautiful. All right, so scroll down a little bit here. So what we did with this Kickstarter was we did 2 columns. The column on the left is for people who back either at the adventure or the campaign level, not both, okay? But in this situation where it goes across, it applies to both columns, okay? But if it's an individual thing on the left, the people who pledge for the adventure and campaign level get the stretch goal on the left. If there's one on the right, the people who backed the bundle of the campaign and adventure in any of those higher tiers, they get that on the right as well as the stretch goal on the left. So it's really good value to back for the adventure and the campaign if you can afford to do so. So this is the Infernathé. The Infernathé are the fireborn people of the world of Zyathé. And this will be a whole supplement about them and how the playability of them, the lore of them, the special abilities and secrets and all kinds of stuff. And we think it is going to be magnificent. Many people have been waiting for these to come. And so we're really, really excited about this little supplement about the Infernathé. At this 40K level, which is already unlocked, we have the STL file of Lucage and the Corruptic Magics, the first part of Corruptic Magics. So we are eventually doing a full lore book, probably that thick, on Corrupted Magics. But we're going to get some of this lore out ahead of time in these marvelous supplements that we're doing. So these are both.
So when you
unlocked.
say supplements, you're talking about like little booklets.
Booklets,
basically, like
yes,
magazines,
booklets,
like
yes.
you did
But we
for-
may combine. So a number of people in the chat have said, please don't send me 8 booklets, right?
Well, yeah.
So we're going to
I would
combine.
say, like,
yes,
one,
yes,
I
yes,
know.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So now at 50K, this is magnificent. We've unlocked Bushira, and we've unlocked the first Monstrica Part 1 for the Gyzaengaxx environs. And of course, on the cover of this one is the Fawns, which is a magnificent character that you will find out much about in the Gyzaengaxx tale. All right. Then here is the Gloom Strider. Now, in the campaign book, in the campaign package, excuse me, there is a new group called the Saakrade Masters. And the Saakrade Masters are the Sarth, and they use these special weapons, often imbued with flowstones or empowered by flowstones, as their weapons of choice. They're a little bit inspired by the Klingon Batha. And so there is another group of the Saakrade Masters, which are called the Gloomstriders, and they're basically assassins. Magnificent.
I feel bad because like this image, like I kill this guy in my new video.
I know,
that
it's
we're
so
going to
wrong.
release. I know.
So wrong. Keep going, Kimber.
But don't let that, stop you from playing a Gloom
Here
Strider.
at 70,000, we unlocked 8 more artworks, 3 for the adventures, 5 for the campaign. Beautiful, and we're just adding to the artwork hall. And these, of course, all of our artworks are done by human beings, not by machines. At 80K, we've got Miriam Gyzaengaxx and the second part of Corruptic Magics. Very exciting. Here we actually have Sabrine Gyzaengaxx and a whole little supplement on the Sa'akrade themselves, the weapons. Can't wait for people to look at these. They're going to be so much fun. Then at 100,000, this marvelous this marvelous class, that we're calling the Aethernist, and they're basically a lore master about the Aethernic lore, and so they really are portable to other tables. But Casey really wanted to do this. I loved the idea of it, and we're going to work together with him on this to create this marvelous Aethernist supplement. So already you can see this is already getting really good. Now we go to 110K. There's more arts. At 125K, we have the second part of Monstrica, and we have Iamira Gyzaengaxx in the STL file. Then on top of that, now we have the Infernal. And the Infernal are a magist class that is based around fire, that is really a specialist group for the Infernathe people. Right, and so so we've got some very interesting twists on fire magic and some really cool things that we're going to add in. Probably have a few new spells in there and some other cool stuff that you're going to love.
And we're going to just need to release a book of just classes.
Isn't this wonderful? I mean, Camera Maddie, see, this is what I'm telling people. I mean, the stretch goals are magnificent. You just need to know a little more about them, right? And I think that's why we're getting so much positivity. Anyway, so people have been asking us for pogs, so we're going to do some pogs. So these can be printed and used at the table, or they can, of course, be used in VTT. And then on the right, we have the first of our legendary items. So Mike was really pushing, and I think he was right, to do some really cool, even leveling magic items that might involve flow stones, that might involve technic artificetry, have some of our unique twists on them. And so we're doing that. So that's legendary items 1.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes, please.
So these are digital, but you can add on them as physical.
At the end, we're going to, depending on how many stretch goals we open, we'll put it all into a bundle so that you can add on all the stretch goals. We'll probably do Ed's Adventure as a separate. So if you didn't want to get all the other stuff, but you wanted to get Ed's Adventure, you could do that. So, of course, we got to get there. So help us,
how
friends.
How much our printing costs are going to be with all of the stretch goals?
Oh, it would have destroyed us. That's why we can't do. That's why we.
No,
can't
I know,
do.
but I'm saying that we will know the price once. We
Oh yes,
know
that's
how
correct.
Many stretch goals we unlock.
That's correct. And we're going to be as aggressive as we can to make this affordable for our backers.
Yes.
So then Mike also suggested that we do deadly BBEGs. So this is going to take and some of the BBEGs that are in our Gyzaengaxx stuff, but maybe add a couple more that you can just break out. And these got legendary actions, lair actions, special actions, all kinds of stuff that make these things like Gary would have loved them. Yes. And then we got NPC Pogs, our first set of those. And then we're going to do a set of special spells. And this is Special Spells 1. And these are going to be some new spells with old school flavor. And I can't wait to do some of them. They're going to be fun. Some of them will be a little goofy, but I think people are going to just go gaga for these. Now here's one that has been asked for a long time. And this is the Crooksic Sorcerer. So Crooksic Sorcerers are people who utilize the nether flow, the corrupted flow of magic, and they cast spells using the nether flow. So we will speak on the Crooksic Sorcerer for the first time, and of course this will go hand in hand with Corruptic Magics, the little supplements that we're doing, the 1 and 2 that we already have. So this is magnificent. Now the problem with Crooksic Sorcery is it has an effect on your soul, on your body, on your mind. So this adds a lot of flaws and interest to this kind of a character.
I just want to clarify what we said earlier. So if you pledged for digital and physical for the adventure and campaign, you get both of those as digital and physical. It's only the stretch goals.
The stretch goals are only digital. Yes.
Then,
The core's pledge, if it says physical, you get the physical and the digital, right? So don't worry about that at all. No. This is only the stretch goals are all in digital, and then there'll be a possibility to add them.
Free for digital.
Free for digital.
Paid for physical stretch goals.
Yes, there'll be a cost associated with the stretch goals.
The printing costs.
Well, not just to cover. We're gonna we have to pay some people, and we have lots of artists and stuff like that. So, but we're going to be aggressive on the price point.
Yes. So, but you will absolutely be getting the adventure and campaign physical and digital.
Absolutely.
And also there was a typo in the early bird campaign for the campaign in environs. And so if you got the early bird $190 tier, you are getting both the physical and digital.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, I think it was limitation with the way Kickstarter allows you to put.
No, it was just.
It was just a typo.
It was just a mess up.
Oh, okay.
It was just like Genghis Khan, spelled K-A-H.
That wasn't my fault. I didn't.
That was your fault.
No, that was my fault. But the typo was not my fault. I didn't do that one. So don't be trying to blame me, cameraman.
Anyone who watches Good Morning Zyathé knows how you spell Khan.
So listen, look right here.
Okay.
This is Ghostly Geralt. Magnificent, very important player in the Gyzaengaxx, Tomb of Gyzaengaxx tale. And then we're going to do Legends Pogs. So these Pogs are very special. We're going to take our Legends so that you have them for the tabletop. And we're very excited to do them. And they will be, of course, all of the Legends or a segment of the Legends. And then we're going to keep adding Pogs as we go forward. In this one, we have the second part of our legendary items, the Monster Pogs 2. And then we go to 350K, which is the next one down, Cameramendi. And then a little further down, Cameramendi.
Okay, hold on. I'm having questions. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm trying to monitor.
Stop for a second.
Okay.
Stop me and let's answer questions.
Okay. Just want to know how much the stretch goals will cost to print if you can. But I
just don't know yet because I don't know how far it's going to go.
Yeah,
right. So we already know we have the Ghost Stone, we have the folios, we have the Fermatra Oz, and the various race folios that we have. Obviously, you start looking at these. We have these, so it's very hard for us to judge. We will be as aggressive as possible on this. To try to make it as affordable as possible. And we will probably break it up a little so that you don't have to get the whole thing if you don't want them. I'm a physical guy too. I like having materials in physical form.
Well, some people might want like the Pogs, but not like the supplements.
Correct.
So we'll talk all that through and make price points that are reasonable for each of the tiers. Because also Pogs cost more to print than a magazine, for instance.
They do, absolutely. Because you got to do them on the heavy stocks.
Is there an option to get the SDLs printed? Some of us don't own a 3D printer.
So we are not going to do that, okay? Because it's just, we don't have a printer here, but we have people in the GUI community who will print miniatures for you. And Harry will also print miniatures, but he would almost prefer, I think, that people go elsewhere for printing, just because he's not a specialist in 3D printing. Now he'll do that for folks because he's a wonderful person, and Harry's done a great job with these miniatures. But we're just doing the STLs. Just because this 3D printing thing is an industry, and for the better quality printing, you need better resins that are fairly toxic. There's just a lot to go with it. So we don't really want to be 3D printers. However, in our community, there are people who can. So make sure you join the GUI Den and ask around, and we can guide you. And there's also, I don't know if you know this, but they're sort of popping up in various cities where there are these clubs where people can go and print at the clubs at very reasonable prices. So it's usually a subscription model, and you pay a little bit of money and then very modest cost to print. So check into that a little bit too if you haven't had a chance. So Deadly BBEGs at 350 will add to the first Deadly BBEGs. Very exciting. Just like Gary would like them, as I said. And then scroll us. Oh, you got more questions, Cameron?
Can we get the both columns goal in print form as an add-on if we only pledged for one?
So probably not. The reason we wanted to reward the backers who pledged at higher levels, and so to take those stretch goals and give those to folks who just pledged for the adventure is probably not something that we're going to do. I would highly encourage you, if you can afford it. And by the way, if you did early bird pledge and you want to upgrade, and we'll hold your early bird for you. So if you did the early bird pledge for the adventure or just for the environs, we'll make an exception for you and let you get the early bird for the combination. I would highly recommend getting that. The price point is not that outrageous. It's going to be magnificent with all kinds of materials. And of course, the stretch goals are so good, so good. So if you can do that, but I do.
And the value for $200, keep in mind, if you back at that $200 level, You also get all of and you go to gooeycube.com/back.
You get the GUI haul.
You get the GUI haul with it. And then all of these stretch goals, and then the actual physical and digital of the adventure in the campaign. Like we really
went all out to try to make that adventure and campaign a very compelling.
And I mean, we genuinely, we hear it all the time, over promise and over deliver. So yeah, genuinely the value for $190 is, if you did the early burger, or $200 is going to be.
Yeah, the value insane. At $250 is ridiculous. Yes. So but this is what we do. Our goal is always to be, to make people delighted. And that's what we want to do. What else, Camera Mandy?
The dice. I know that there's at least one dice goblin in the chat asking for more dice.
So right now, this is the dice we have. We'll see what happens as we progress. We have the big red gooey dice, which is about as big as a golf ball, a little smaller than a golf ball. And it's got the skull inside and the gooey cube on the 20, even though the gooey cube isn't shown on here, but it will have the gooey cube on the 20-sider. And if you back at just the adventure or campaign, you can buy it for $10 instead of $15. If you back at the adventure and campaign, you can get it for $7 as an add-on. Nice. Then down below, we have the gooey dice throne and the third part of Monstrica. So we're going to put some more monsters in here, so you'll enjoy that. And then as you get down to the 400K.
No, I said at least one dice goblin. I know that there's more. Although, I'm going to mess up the name again. Portholus?
Just don't say Portholus.
I know, said Dice Dragon. So, correction.
Any other questions real quick before we keep scrolling?
No, just a lot of stuff about dice. They want.
Here is the second. This is the gooey red dice set. This is very similar to our previous one. You get it at a discount depending on your backer level. And we're very excited for this. It will also have the skull and the 6-sider as our gooey green dice originally did. They'll be limited in production, and we're excited to put them out there. Also, the second stretch goal that's unlocked here as well is the bust of Geralt the Ghost and Special Spells Part 2. So this is our second Special Spells portion.
I'm sure Carrie is going to have like the best time.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Making special spells.
So much fun. Now, we're very excited about this. People didn't even know this was coming. So as you know, in the world of Zyathé, we have these marvelous things called Technic Artificitors. Some of you may not. Technic Artificitors are not like a traditional artificer, okay? Artificers, traditionally, the way they've been made is basically they're just modified spellcasters. The Artificitors in the world of Zyathé are not. They make constructs and machinations and fusels. This is what they do. And that is their capability. So they are not running around just casting spells like wizards. They are actually making things that do things for them. And they are, this is a very wonderful and interesting class. Now, the problem is the Cruxic Artificer is using typically not just flowstones, but also nether stones, which are the corrupted flowstones in their manufacturing. Yeah, pretty good. Yes. So we're very excited to bring the Cruxic Artificer to the table, and people are going to very much enjoy that. Of course, going along with that, in the Gyzaengaxx tail down below, in the dungeon is Geralt's zombie body. It's walking around, it's casting spells, it's really a problem. It's kind of a BBEG. I think you all are going to love Geralt's zombie body.
Are you spoiling us that he's dead?
I don't know if he's dead. I mean, everybody's seen the damn ghost 100 times. Okay, listen, and then we're going to do Cruxic Fusels.
Okay.
So those are fusels that are powered by nether stone.
I love it.
Yes.
Okay.
Now slow down for a second here because we aren't quite there yet. So that's 450. So we got to get to 450, which we're almost at
today.
You'll probably.
And I made a mistake earlier. There is still a Gary Con. Randy picked up the Genghis Con one, so there is still a Gary Con.
There's still a Gary Con available.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to be with you at Gary Con. There's one left.
Yes.
So this is 450,000. We're just about to unlock these. That's very exciting. So tell some friends, let some people know, and then let's go to the next one because I'm really excited about 500,000. So 500,000.
Oh, this one.
No.
That was 475.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. First 475. So 475, we get Geralt's nemesis. So Geralt's nemesis is a wonderful story. You're going to love this little problem that's going on in the Gyzaengaxx Tower and the dungeon. And then we're going to add to the campaign set a much more expansive village of Ethel. So there'll be a wonderful keyed map for players, hand illustrated, wonderful keyed map for the dungeon master, game master, and then a lot of information about Ethel. So it's going to be expanding the information on Ethel that was in the original campaign set.
Okay, I lost track of the comments. Mike is in the chat answering comments. So if you have a question,
oh, Mike, thank you.
Mike is in there. Also, he says he sent me a text. What Easter eggs from the old days would you like to see?
Oh, I'll do that. Don't worry, I got
Okay.
that. I've got
Okay.
that. We'll do that right before we're almost done with this, and then we'll do the next thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now at 500,000,
Uh-huh.
look at this. So we have the STL of Grogu the Guardian, sculpted by Harry.
Uh-huh.
And Grogu is based on the pupper in the Gyzaengaxx family, in Luke's family. And he's adorable, and everybody loves Grogu. He's actually at Founders and Legends right now. But then also, for those who pledge the campaign and adventure level, we're going to expand on the village of Blun. So Blun is also going to get a little extra treatment, all right? So you'll be able to get that. Now keep scrolling because there's more at 500,000.
Okay.
We're also going to do flow blades. So the Sarth this is a recent development, okay? They've always been able to put flow stones into weapons and power them and add magical capabilities to them. But they have now come upon a new method just in recent years. And it is closely guarded secret by the guild of actually imbuing flowstone into the metal as they are creating the weapon. And these are called flow blades. And people have been waiting for these for a long time. I can't wait to put them out. I think people are going to love them. Your players are going to love them. Very, very cool sort of offshoot magic item. I can't wait. All right, scroll down. So now we got Monster Pogs 3, which should cover most of the monsters in the campaign, I think. We might need to do one more. We'll see what happens. And then we got Legends Pogs 2, which we will need to do one more Legends Pogs to get to the full set, I believe. Okay? And then the last thing is, here's the first time we're doing it, extra special items. So we're going to start doing our magic item cards as not as add-ons. Well, there will be an add-on in physical, but in digital for some of these legendary items and other things that we're doing. So you'll actually have them in card format, not just in a supplement explaining about them.
Right.
So there is that. Almost done. So now scroll down.
You also forgot the slime or the goo.
What goo?
At 500,000, you and
oh, I didn't put that in there, did I?
yeah, you and
yes,
Lisa
I
are
probably
getting
need to
goo
put that
at
in there.
Gary
Yeah,
Con.
at 500,000, if it happens before Gary Con here, and it's got a good chance. I mean, we're at 450 right now. It's got a good chance. Well, actually, 446, 563, if I'm looking at it correctly. So yes, Luke and I will get slime for charity to support Extra Life. And I've already committed to Luke that we'll.
We just got another pledge.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you.
That is fun to see it go
It's
up.
wonderful. Yeah, well, and whenever I send out an update, every time an update goes out, you always lose a couple pledges,
Yeah,
which
they're
is which is disheartening, right? Because it happens every time. But you have to send out updates because people want to know about them, right? So all that stuff. So anyway, so we're going to have as
we're
we
sick of hearing from you.
well, I honestly I don't think it's that. I think some people honestly pledge with the intention of pledging and going forward, and then something changes in their life.
Okay.
I think other people pledge and just know that they can cancel later if they decide they don't like it for one reason or another. And I think some people just pledge because they want to help you. I've heard that before. Some people just pledge to kind of boost you up at the beginning, and then they really don't have the money to do it, and they bail out, which is wonderful. I mean, it's a dear thing. I would wish they wouldn't do it, honestly, because all these negative pledges when they go up bother me. But anyway, so the extra special items, this is the first of the sets. We probably got a couple more coming at 525, 550, or 575. Scroll on down, Cameramendi, because there are the mysteries, and then we got to get to 600,000 because I really think we're going to make this. Just keep scrolling, Cameramendi. Here it is. Rarondrel the Bard, based on Ed Greenwood's character in the tale, will be an STL. And the Magnificent Tale, A Trouble with Rats, which is old school as old school could be, but a magnificent little adventure. We've already started talking a little bit about it. Ed and Luke and I are going to author this together, and it will be available as a stretch goal in digital format at 600,000, and you'll be able to add it as a physical at 600,000 as well. I can't wait to do this. I think we're going to make it. Please tell your friends. Please tell everybody. And let's get this one done. You all know how Kickstarters go the last 72 hours. So we should have some of that go on here ourselves. But it doesn't happen automatically. And so please do tell folks. That would be a marvelous thing for you to do. Anyway, any questions from folks now? Let's get some questions answered about the stretch goals, and then we'll do our walkthrough. Mendy?
I have to read the comments.
Okay, I'm just checking.
And I'm blowing my nose at the same time. Sorry, guys. Can you check with Alphinius about a portrait he was going to send me to get sculpted from Harry? So you were supposed to send Harry.
Oh, Harry, yes, I will.
Okay. The extra special items will also be truly incredible. They will be oversized cards with extra design curiosity. I'm really excited for these. That says Mike. I figure out... Sorry. What about the Alfabio Pog? Yeah, the Alfabio Pog with the new heart glasses, for sure.
All right, that's a possibility. We'll think about that.
Here, put these on.
No, I'm not putting those on.
How many firstborns need to be sold to get Pogs retroactive for Red Star Rising content? I feel like there's a potential that we could do that.
We could probably do that.
But there's more.
But let's not dwell on it. Let's keep it. Let's put it down as.
There's more things. Excuse me. Can I please say?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
There's a few more things we have to do before we kind of revisit other things for Red Star Rising, like support all of our new products and Darkenhaven.
Yeah. No. We got it. Darkenhaven is close, and we're going to get it out. And the people are. And wait till you get it. Wait. I know there's only 150 or so people who actually got the Darkenhaven and Gloomport in the Kickstarter. And you got a huge value because the price point is going to be dramatically higher than what you paid for it. And then on top of it, I didn't restrain myself. So wait till you see it. wait till you see this box.
Okay. Can you guys give Grogu a helmet for armor? Harry, that's a request from you.
Harry, if you want to do a Grogu derivative with a helmet,
just make
and
it so
armor.
the helmet can be plopped on like what we did with the Alphinius. By the way, someone was asking for Alphinius STLs, and they are actually currently available on Harry's shop.
But we may Harry and I may have a discussion and give somebody. But listen, if you haven't done so, give Harry a back on My Mini Factory. It's only like $1 or $3, and he does wonderful stuff. By the way, we're at 447,000. I wonder if we'll make it to 450,000 before the show ends. That will be very interesting.
Marcus is asking, any chance can I get an advanced copy of the Krusik Artificer starting a GUI campaign in a few weeks? I would love to play this version of the Artificer. It does not exist yet.
Yes, it does not. There is only a little bit of lore that we have begun and things that we started, Marcus. I'll try. Doggone it, I will try. But I don't know if we can get that done. Also, yes, here's the deal. There's some people who are asking if they can add a portrait and have that portrait in the Gyzaengaxx tale. And we can't really do that because there's only so much room, right? And we've already had some 20 people who, I think there's only a couple left, right, Cameramendi? There's only a couple left of the portraits, the portrait packs. So we already have not only the legends we have to get into the Gyzaengaxx environs and also the adventure. They'll be in, and they won't be duplicative, by the way. Please know that. The ones that will be in the adventure will not be in the campaign setting. But we are really, really excited to have it's probably going to be 20 members of our community who will be in Gyzaengaxx as well because they did the portrait pack. So we're really, really excited to do that and bring that to the table. I can't even tell you. I know we had Elijah Sulrima, who's William's character, and Jade's character also in the Mornwood materials, as well as, of course, Donnie and Andrea and others. And so we just love this aspect of what GUI Cube is doing. My friends, thank you for joining us today. Hope you love Todd. Thank you for your support of the Kickstarter. Tell some friends, right? Think about add-ons. See what we can do. Let's get to that 450,000 and keep moving forward because we've got to get to at least 600,000 for Ed. But there's even something more special if we can get to 700,000. You wait. Ha-ha! May all your adventures be sticky, and may our Kickstarter continue to grow and give you more loots. Bye-bye now.